Hi, I'm Dave Lieber, and that really is me falling off the stage at Keller High School in 1998. But that's a whole nother story. I'll tell you that sometime. I am here with one of my best friends in the world and an artist, a fellow I really want you to meet. He's a sandwich artist. He's created 500 sandwiches and maybe more. Welcome to Dave Lieber Show, Dan Weinberger of Weinberger's Deli in Grapevine, Texas, on Main Street. How are you?
David, I'm doing great. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Good, good. You're one of my heroes because you have done what very few people have done, which is create. You don't have just a deli. You have a museum of sandwiches.
Pretty much.
So, the one thing that really fascinated about you lately, and because you've been fascinating me since I met you 25 years ago, is the sandwich that you created when Pope Leo was. I don't know how you say it, elected, I guess.
Elected Pope, yeah.
And you created a Pope Leo sandwich.
The Papa Leo.
Papa Leo. Tell us about that.
Now, the Papa Leo when you talk about divine inspiration, when I create these different sandwiches, I thought, okay, we have to do a sandwich for the Pope. And so, for the first American Pope. And so, when it came to it, the first thing that came to me was Lamb of God, so we're going to use lamb, obviously. And then we added ham to it for the richness of the church. Ham is usually a meat that's for celebrations. I used a sunny side up egg, which has got yellow and white, which are the papal colors. And of course, it's Italian, so we had to have mozzarella on it, which all my sandwiches go through generations. So we're looking to maybe switch it to a burrata. I'm not sure yet. It's got arugula, which is a little peppery, little spice. We've got sriracha for the blood of Christ, the sauce on it. And then we've got cherry peppers for the bitterness of life sometimes. And tomatoes, onions to represent the earth. And then it comes on this muffaletta roll, which is garlic toasted. So it's a compilation of flavors, and it's been exceptionally popular. And then I put it on the menu for $14 because it's Pope Leo the 14th.
Oh, wow.
But it's spelled XIV.
Do you by chance have a
yeah, actually,
you can show us?
We do have one, yeah.
Because we can't have a food show without showing the food.
Absolutely. So let's get one out here.
And as far as you know, that's the only Pope-related sandwich in the universe, right?
Well, everybody decided at that time that they were going to create a Pope Leo sandwich. I think,
really?
Portillo's did one, but I mean, no, mine was an actual creation of a sandwich. I love my staff. They secure.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So this is the sandwich. Oops.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pope Leo sandwich.
Here we go. That's basically the sandwich itself.
Yeah, hold that up to your...
Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we'll get the angle right.
Yeah.
But it's got great color to it. It's got great taste. It's great flavor. You want to try a bite?
Oh, I will, yeah.
Okay.
But if I start eating right now, I will forget what I'm asking you. But congratulations on that. How does it sell?
It's very popular, especially on Sundays.
So,
and of course, what was it? Last 2 weeks ago was his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
see, that's what I'm saying. It's very unique. This gentleman here. I mean, well, so I met you 25 years ago when you opened up on Main Street in Grapevine, and I wrote a story about you because I was absolutely thrilled that a real, authentic deli had come to Grapevine, to North Texas, because you are the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
You go back, your business was started in 1952 by your dad, right?
My dad started in 52, and the guy that taught my dad had delis from the 1930s, and very popular in Chicago. In fact, his name is Ray Marcon, and his son, Mel Marcon, was one of the more popular restaurateurs in the city of Chicago over the years. And for my dad ended up having 5 shops on the south side of Chicago.
Wow.
Very different, various styles. He could never settle on one particular style. And the shop that I opened was actually based on his 3rd store.
So you've tried to open other delis in different cities around here, but it just never has worked out for you. But it doesn't really matter because the Grapevine store is just rocking and sock'em. Every time I go in there, there's a line of 10 people.
Oh yeah, I mean we are very blessed right now as far as what we do, and the other locations we tried for one reason or another just didn't work out. I mean, I always tell people, if you're going to do this, do it this way. And everybody comes back with, oh, I've got this. And it's like, no, you don't. So.
Yeah, but the Grapevine store is so successful that it really doesn't matter that you don't have any other shops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a few years back, you were complaining about high cost of food and about taxes and all that. But then something happened with the railroad, right, that brought, and the Hotel Vin, right? And all of a sudden now you are like one of the busiest shops on Grapevine's Main Street.
We went from the end of Main Street to being the center of Grapevine. So you couldn't ask for a better location where I'm at.
No. So one of the things that you did for me that was really nice was about a dozen years or so, you offered to name a sandwich after me, which every newspaper columnist's dream is to have something like that named after them. And you had Mark Cuban, and you had city council people.
We had Joe King, the Sharon a ham for sharing, for Sharon Spencer Rogers, and
a councilwoman.
Yeah, I mean, just regular people from Don and Wanda's Meatloaf, or a couple that came in my shop for years, and they were always the salt of the earth. And so for a meatloaf sandwich, I needed salt of the earth name for the sandwich, and that's how it became the Don and Wanda.
Very creative. So
can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
I was going to say on your particular sandwich.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Well, the first one.
We'll get to that.
The Summer Santa.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you though first, how you got the idea of doing plaques of sandwiches named after them.
Nobody knew who I was when we opened our shop. We did open as a full-fledged deli. Grapevine really was not ready for a full-fledged deli.
Right.
What they did like were the sandwiches, so I ran with the sandwiches. And I thought, well, how do I get everybody in here? So I would pick certain people, and I decided that I would create sandwiches for these people. And if you had a sandwich named after, what are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, you need to go down to Weinberger's and try my sandwich. So they became my marketing team. So the first 20 sandwiches I had up there, those people would send people into my store. And that's how we started to grow. And as a result, we started customizing these sandwiches. We've had them auctioned off in different events. We've had sandwiches. For me to create a sandwich for someone at a charitable event has raised as much as $2,100 on a sandwich.
Wow.
So.
Well, I love your food, but I wouldn't pay more than $1,500 for a sandwich.
To be named after you?
Well, so
think about the value of what you got.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. You said to me, hey, I'd like to name a sandwich after you. And I made a really important decision about it. I said, don't name it after me. Name it after my charity, my children's charity, Summer Santa. And don't just name it Summer Santa, name it Summer Santa ORG, so that people knew the website when they ordered the sandwich. And you said, well, what should the sandwich be like? And I said, well, we're really getting a lot of good traction and leadership from the South Lake women. So do something that a South Lake woman would like. That was my idea. And you came up with the Summer Santa OG, which is what? What is in it?
It's the Summer Santa has an olive mix on it with provolone cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, balsamic vinaigrette, a little mayonnaise on it. It comes on a pumpernickel roll, and that sandwich, I don't know if you knew this, but one of the food critics from the Star one time came in. He ordered a bunch of food and was tasting everything, and he brought me over to the table and he said, what's the meat that's on this sandwich? And it was a Summer Santa he was eating. I said, there's no meat on it. And he's like, you're kidding. So he finished the sandwich, wrote the article saying how vegetarians really do have a good thing going for him. At the end of not so much the end of the year, but later in the year, I got a notice from him that it was an article, the 10 most memorable lunches of the year. And that was one of the 10 most wonderful meals of the year. And that was one of the 10 that he had tasted.
Congratulations. I didn't even know that. Yeah. But one of the things that attracted me to that sandwich was when you ate it, it felt like you were having meat.
Yeah.
But it's a vegetarian sandwich. So that was another one of your brilliant sandwich artiste creations.
Thank you.
So for a dozen years, I was really regret it. I said, man, I could have had a sandwich named after me. And I didn't. I blew it. And I'll never get another chance again. And then I told you I was going on vacation. And you said, where are you going? And I said, Maine. And you said, would you do me a favor? Would you go out and scout the lobster rolls in Maine and send me pictures of the sandwich and the menu?
Mm-hmm.
So for a week in Maine with my wife Karen and I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner lobster rolls at all these different restaurants.
And I got the pictures.
Yeah, and you started then to formulate the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited because I thought now I was going to have a sandwich named after me. But you pulled a fast one. When you unveiled it, you didn't call it Lieber's Lobster Roll. You called it the Mobster Lobster Roll. Remember why you did that?
No.
You told me I didn't want to name it after you in case it was a dud. I wanted to make sure that it was successful, right?
Okay.
So tell me about what's in the what turned out to be the Lieber's Lobster Roll.
It's actually a Maine style lobster roll. It's the cold lobster, but I needed to make it affordable. Most lobster rolls run $30, and
right.
So I found a product called Lobster Bits. Basically, what it is when they take the shell, there's always a little piece of lobster could be anywhere from, just a little pinch to maybe a nice morsel to it, and they package it in these 4 salads. And I thought, well, let's put this together. And we worked with little sour cream, a little mayonnaise, and Old Bay seasoning, celery. It's pretty simple. But when you put the whole sandwich together on the toasted brioche roll, we add a little bit of spring mix and spinach to it, and then the lobster mix on the inside. Basically, everything that we put together on it is a classic lobster roll, except that it's smaller pieces of lobster. And of course, then you sprinkle a little more Old Bay on the top with garnish with green onion, and it comes on they're 5-inch brioche rolls, which are toasted, just like you would get in Maine.
So I have a bone to pick with you about that. Last time I was in there, I noticed that it tasted different. I noticed there was something on the top of it that wasn't there originally, some kind of spice or.
That's the Old Bay.
Yeah, and that's kind of new, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't check with me.
Well, when I was going, I told you all sandwiches go through generations, and to make something so that people want to come back for it, they have to have a residual taste. And the lobster roll was great, but it didn't have a residual taste to it. So this gives it that signature.
Yeah, it did. It really did help it. Can you show us the sandwich, the lobster roll?
Yeah.
And so, how did it do when you unveiled it?
The lobster roll, when we first unveiled it, was kind of a shocker for people. They didn't know what to expect. Especially when we started it, it was a $9.99 sandwich, and of course, then we went through price hikes and everything. So it's still an affordable sandwich, but the
I love that you can't open your own openers. Yeah.
Yeah, we had what was it? The lobster shortage. That's what it was. That's what we went through, where they overharvest all the lobster.
Okay.
And it took a while for the crop to come back. But
oh yeah, that's a beauty, man. Look at that. That beat out peanut butter and jelly is my favorite sandwich.
Here we go. These are.
It's so good.
They're so popular. As I tell you, this is this little sandwich that could. It's when you get a sandwich that sells on such a regular basis. It's they're hits in a certain way. I mean, they're always selling, and if they're always selling, you always want to keep that product in stock. So it's consistent.
So when I go in there and I order one, I get treated like royalty. Your guys behind the counter go, "That's the lobster roll guy." I mean, and I don't mind having that attached to my name.
You have a nice picture with one that we hang in the store.
Oh yeah, well I wanted to show that. When you did this, I wrote a story about it for my newspaper, the Dallas Morning News, and the headline is, "He's on a lobster roll." And I love that. And this was for the food section. I've never written for the food section before.
That was pretty exciting. I don't think I was ever written in the food section before that.
Oh, it was more exciting for me than it was for you. So now, I'd like Andrew, my producer, if you could show that video of the interior of the, because that takes us to our next step, which is the fact that you have outgrown. You only have about 6 tables in there.
No,
Right.
we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we have seating for 30 people on the inside, and then we have another 16 outside.
So what is your plan? That's not big enough for the successful lines that you have, and for all the people that want a lobster roll.
We'll get 5 stars on. People write reviews. We get 5 stars on food, 5 stars on service, 1 star on seating.
Oh,
So
wow.
now we're going to be expanding into what was the Little Orange Fish, which is next door to the deli, and that expansion we hope to have completed by the second week of January. We're going to turn that into a dining room. We'll have 84 seats. And different ways that you can order. I'm having kiosks put in so that when you come in, you can stand in line and order a sandwich, or you can just go to a kiosk, order your sandwiches, have a seat, and we'll call you when the sandwiches are ready.
Do you order the sandwich on a kiosk?
Yeah.
Oh man, that drives me crazy at McDonald's.
You and me both. Okay. But the younger generation, I have to cater to my new customers that are growing up, and they love kiosks.
Really?
Yeah.
And have you tested this kiosk?
I haven't had one in the shop yet, but I've gone to different places, different restaurants that have similar kiosks, and have experimented with them.
Well, let me go on the record by saying it won't work. The first month it won't work because adults will try it and they'll get stumped.
They'll get
and the
screwed.
20-something will be behind them going,
Well, that's why I've got the option. You can go talk to
Yeah.
a sandwich maker or just put one on a kiosk.
now you don't have a lot of turnover behind the counter.
No, oh no, my staff has been with me for an awfully long
Yeah,
time.
and that's really special. And I don't know how they do it because they're working morning, noon, night, making sandwiches. I mean, the amount of people that come in there in a given day is how many?
300
300.
weekends, maybe 500.
Wow. And your competition is chain delis, like Jason's and whatever, all those
Yeah.
other delis. There's nobody that really can compete with you when it comes to variety.
No, not for variety and also for freshness because we're so small. All of our product comes in daily because I just don't have the refrigeration to store it in my shop. So every morning we shop at the market and then we bring the product in. Our bread is daily. Things that can be frozen obviously last a little bit longer, but no, we have to. Our vegetables, the meat. When you look at the deli case and you see that meat that's in there and it's so stuffed, a day later it's empty.
Oh, man. That's unbelievable. Andrew, can you show that interior video again? Because I want to show how crowded it can get in there. Yeah, there's not a lot of room for movement. Oh, that's amazing. That's your sandwich board.
Right,
And-
which is going to be expanded because we're actually adding breakfast to our sandwiches, which would probably take up another third of that board. And then I have another. Over the year, we've created so many new sandwiches that have become popular that are not on the board. And I always tell people, look at our Facebook page, at Weinberger's Deli, just follow us, and then I'll post different sandwiches that we're coming up with. I came across one yesterday that I'm working on from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and it's an Italian sausage sandwich that I think looks amazing, and so I want to bring that in and try that. It's a little more complicated than our regular Italian sausage. It's a patty with melted mozzarella on it and the red sauce and peppers and onions, but I'll step up the game on it. The particular bread that we use will be a little different than what you see.
I don't understand how you get 500 people in that little tiny store, though.
There's a line out the door.
Yeah.
And we just get them to Circle up.
So, one of the things about you that's so interesting is your life is like my V-shaped storytelling formula, where the hero goes down to the low point where things are bad, and then they fight like a hero and they win. And that's you, because this business was not guaranteed when you opened it. In fact, it was new. The products were new. Like you said, Main Street and Grapevine hadn't stretched up to the. You're at 601 Main Street, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hadn't stretched out that far, and so you just basically have risen from that low point where you were struggling to make it and everything to this high point now where you are really one of the top restaurants in North Texas.
I tell you, I always tell people I have a PhD in small business, because when I started, and it's one thing to consult on restaurants, it's another thing to own a restaurant. And I had my power turned off. I had bounced checks. I had a telephone cut off. I mean, IRS, the state of Texas, for mistakes that I had made, and I owned up to them. And we came through it on the other side, and we're doing great. In fact, I relate my story to The Bear on Hulu. If you've ever seen The Bear, season 1, I cringed because all the things that happened to the character who owned it. The story is about a chef who inherits a beef shop in Chicago, and he's a 5-star chef, and what he goes through to bring himself to that level to make this restaurant work. And I tell you, it was so relatable to me.
All I know is that it's nominated in the comedy category, but when it wasn't a comedy. That's what I remember about it, hearing about it. So how many interviews have you done over the course of the last 25 years with press and TV? And I know you're on CBS 11 for the Pope Leo, but how many interviews have you had, roughly? Dozens or hundreds or what?
So many, I could say I'm probably the most photographed or interviewed person on Main Street in Grapevine, or in all of Grapevine, as far as I know. I mean,
that's saying a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we've made it. I always joked about the fact that I've been in every magazine, on every radio, television station, and that I was never in D Magazine. And so I said, when I make it to D Magazine, I'll retire. Well, oddly enough, I got to be D Magazine's best of last year.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I saw that in the window.
Yeah, I should be retired, but.
You can't, because you're a sandwich artiste.
Yeah, and every time I come across something so I had surgery on my back last year, which has kept me out of the store pretty much, but it didn't keep me from looking for sandwiches. Well, my algorithm on my computer now just feeds me different types of sandwiches, and I look at them and I think, no, that's good. That's not, it's a Seattle dog, great Seattle dog. Not to belabor this, but a grilled beef hot dog with cream cheese and onion and jalapeno on a brioche bun. Oh, it's going on a menu.
Wow.
I made it at home. I had to get a special hot dog for it, but it's so
What's it called?
worth it.
What's it going to be called?
The Seattle dog. I'm not going to deviate from the name of it, because it is what it is. When I come across a sandwich that is something that is particular, I may tweak it a bit, but like I can't change the name of an Italian beef. I can't change the name of a cheesesteak or the Seattle dog. So they'll remain their names.
So you have this talent where someone walks in the store and you sometimes know what they're going to order before they order it, because you remember people by the sandwich they order it, right?
Yeah. Some people come in, and it's funny, we have a sandwich called the Pal Hand that when people come in, if they start out with the Pal Hand, they never switch. It's a simple sandwich. It's roast beef with chili oil on it, grilled Genoa salami, Gouda cheese, provolone. It has onion and pepperoncinis on it, and the way it's put together, and it comes on a toasted tolera, garlic toasted tolera, and it's like ambrosia. I mean, people they find the sandwich that they want. They don't switch. Although we even tell people, try something different. You don't like it, we'll make your other one. No problem.
Yeah, because you don't charge them if they don't like it, right?
No, God, no.
Yeah, I think I've had about 6 or 7 sandwiches. The Rachel, the Wall Streeter. Coming up with the names is like, who's Rachel?
That's a tough one. Well, the Rachel is actually a sandwich there's some controversy on that. Back in the 70s, a Rachel was a turkey Reuben. But over the years, it's changed, and now it's Turkey in Georgia. Actually, takes the name of the Rachel sandwiches. It's similar to a ribbon, but it has coleslaw instead of sauerkraut on it.
Oh, and how did you come up with the name Wall Streeter?
It was just pretty indicative of the particular sandwich: pastrami, Swiss cheese, Russian dressing on pumpernickel. It's pretty much a New York style sandwich. We've had that from the 1970s, that particular one.
Is it more fun to create the sandwich or create the name?
Oh, names are mind-blowing, racking. It's like if you pick the wrong name for the sandwich, it's going to, linger in sandwich hell. But I mean, you come up with the right name for it, flies out the door.
Like most things.
So, like Mobster Lobster.
Yeah. No, but that's Lobster Mobster. Lieber's Lobster. Let's not.
No, I was gonna say now that it's Lieber's Lobster, it flies out the door.
So, when you move next door, what are you going to do with breakfast? How are you going to handle breakfast? Are you going to be selling lunch sandwiches or bagels or what?
Oh, no bagels, but we will be opened up earlier. We're going to be open at 8 o'clock in the morning. The sandwiches we have experimented with breakfast tacos, and I've got a good grasp on what we want to do in that aspect. Most of the sandwiches are like breakfast with Morty. It's a mortadella sandwich with jardiniere, mozzarella cheese, and egg on a toasted tellera. We've got Ain't Your Grandpa's pastrami and egg sandwich. We've got your basics too, just ham and egg, bacon and egg.
People, back to the main store, people walk in there, they're overwhelmed with the choices, and they stand there for a very long time, and they say to the person behind them, "You go ahead."
Yeah.
You go ahead. And because it's like impossible to get to get something because there's so many choices on that board.
It's a good thing we have a line. I mean, it gives them an opportunity to stare at the board.
Yeah.
But I learned something about the menu board over the years that our most popular sandwich is a Reuben sandwich, but it's the number one sandwich on the board.
Oh.
So I mean, people just, I can't deal with all this. I'll just go with that. And honestly, they're doing themselves a disservice because there are so many intricate sandwiches. The Jaybird, the best damn buffalo wing chicken sandwich you've ever had. Like I said, the Palahan. They have to dig deeper on the board and just try something. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, but it's so risky because you're committing yourself to a $14 sandwich, and it might not work out. But then again, you said you can return it and get something else. Which, who allows that?
I mean, I'll throw away 3-4 sandwiches before I find the one that you're addicted to. I mean, I always put myself as a crack dealer. I mean, on some things. Our tagline is "Sandwiches You Crave," and it actually came from Baylor Hospital down the street because women who just gave birth, who could not have deli meats the 9 months they were pregnant, their husbands would come in and go, "My wife is jonesing for a sandwich from you all." And so that's where we got the tagline, "Sandwiches You Crave."
And you also have new T-shirts up there that say stuff like Weinberger's University, right?
Yep.
What's the story behind those?
We just want to educate people on sandwiches. I'm a big proponent on sandwich construction, and went to culinary school, and I can tell the difference between a sandwich made from someone in a culinary school and somebody who grew up in a deli, because the way we manufacture the sandwiches is inverse to the way you're taught. And it's going to be my personal mission to teach people how to stop putting their mustard and mayonnaise on the bread and put it on the filling. I swear, folks, if you want to change your life, take your mayonnaise, your mustard, dressing, put it on the filling. Don't put it on the bread. You don't put your A1 sauce on the potatoes. You put it on the steak. So.
People come up to you and they go, "This reminds me of my childhood."
Oh, yeah.
Where I grew up, there was a real deli, and this is like the closest thing to it.
Most of them grew up in my deli. I get a kick out of it because I have a yearbook in my store, which is from my high school, because there's a lot of people from Illinois that live in this area that either had a cousin or a relative that went to my high school. It was the largest high school in Illinois, Thornridge High School. At the time, it had 6,000 students in it. And so people come in and they can find somebody, but now they're coming in and saying, "Oh, my grandfather went there, my great-grandfather went there." And I was like, wow, I'm certainly getting old.
Well, we didn't talk about Pope Leo going to your school, did we?
No.
Tell us that story.
So I grew up in Dalton, Illinois, And one of the students, Robert Prevost, he was 3 years behind me at the time, and is now our Pope. And I remember when Pope Francis died, and a friend of mine, we were having a conversation, and he said, well, we actually have a cardinal in the running. And I was like, an American cardinal? That'll never happen.
That is funny.
And so when they came out, and I remember watching the TV, and I saw the white smoke come out of the chapel, and I thought, oh, it's got to be the Italian. It was that quick. And the cardinal comes out and announces Cardinale Roberto Francisco Prevosto, and I went to my phone to see if there was another Prevost as a cardinal, and I was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, to have that connection, because the town I grew up in was a small town, and I mean, we all did the same things. We all went to the 4th of July. We all went to the Sir Isaac Walton League shrimp boil, same movie theater, same barbershop, pizza. I mean, right across the street from St. Mary's was Damiani's Pizza, and then right behind that is his house. And so pretty much, all the experiences that we all shared, he shared with us.
So I think there's one other thing I'd like to do, and that is Andrew, our producer of this segment, told me what his favorite Weinberg sandwich is, and if you could open it up and let him see.
I have to give kudos to my people. I mean, seriously, the way they tape these things.
And I want to mention that your sandwiches all come with a dilled pickle and potato chips, but the dilled pickle is really the true deli accoutrement.
One of the things that I have, I'm very particular on. I have fortunately for me, I've got a pretty good flavor profile of foods, of broad tasting sandwiches and salads. And we always want to make sure that when people come in, that they are going to get, this is not going to open up for me,
Yeah,
but,
hold it up just a little bit so you can see it. Yeah. It's a messy sandwich there. Oh, but
So-
pretty clean.
yeah.
How about that, Andrew?
That's delicious.
Are you ready for that, man? Wow, yeah. I've had that there. It's an amazing.
But I said I should have made the doner kebab. Sorry about that.
I called it a gyro, but people here call it a gyro, or what do they call it?
They can call it anything they want. It's their $5.
Well, anything you want to add?
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk about our shop and the history on it, and the fact that we are going forward with this. My father's store is in Chicago. The longest running store went from 1952 to 1998. And I'm making a pretty good run at it right now, being that we're in our 23rd year this month, actually. Oh, October.
Happy
End of
birthday.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have met now the sandwich artiste of Main Street in Grapevine, Dan Weinberger, who is the creator of the lobster roll named after me, which I'm thrilled because there's not a lot of stuff named after me.
No, I beg to argue.
And Dan, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for sticking with it and not giving up when things got tough. And here you are now, just a happy sandwich artiste.
That's it. I'm just creating sandwiches as I go along and try and make another niche of sandwich people happy.
Yep. Well, that was Dan Weinberger. I'm Dave Lieber, and I'll be back next time with another interesting character of Texas for you to meet. Thank you, and I'll see you at Weinberger's Deli in Grapevine.